Hello, everyone, and happy holiday season. I hope you're doing great. I hope you're going to take this time to spend moments and hours and days with those you cherish, and also take time for yourself to replenish, to take a break, to connect to your heart, and focus on what you are definitely looking for in 2025, what you wish to create, what you wish to also release. So enjoy this period coming up. I want to say through this video how grateful I am to be working with you, to be evolving with you. Whether we have worked together in a one-on-one or a group setting, or you're just following my page, I still feel your presence. I still feel that your work has a value, of course, for yourself, but is also being added to the collective of light workers who are definitely making a difference in this world. And your journey is important. And I want you to really remember this. In this group, in my environment, we have newly emerging lightworkers, we have slowly awakening lightworkers, and we have rapidly rising lightworkers. We're all part of the same unity, the same family of people who have decided to really take the lead and not follow the mainstream narratives and say to themselves and share with others, this is how I want to live my life. I feel it rising within me. I feel a change is coming up, and I want to mold it, to sculpt it exactly the way I want. And yes, intuitive powers are very important. And that was a question. I did ask a few people if you had a question to ask me, and 2 people sent me a question. Why is it important to develop your intuitive powers? Well, yes, of course, it's to help others, to channel for them, to help them manifest healing. But for you personally, it's really to build this sense of autonomy, that you do not rely on an external source, whether a person, a group of people, or just the media or a government, to really understand what is happening around you and within you. So you can really discern what is right, what feels right, as truth is, of course, a notion that can fluctuate, depending on when you connect, who you talk to. But developing your intuitive abilities is really returning to who you are fully, who we are as human beings. And that's super important. This way, and that's the work I have been doing in the past 3-4 years now. Always, okay, let's develop your intuitive abilities, understand your intuitive process, create your own intuitive process rather than only relying on a method you have learned. And whether you decide to be of service, sharing your magic with others or not, as a hobby or professionally, it is not really relevant. What is relevant right now is that what you feel within as guidance, you follow through. Every decision you make is based on, I feel it in my gut, I feel it in my heart. It would be so exciting to do it, to develop it, to work with it. I don't buy into this fear-based kind of narrative, or I don't resonate with this, whatever you are being exposed to. To be clear enough in your heart and in your mind to say, this is not what I want. I choose another journey. I choose another path, is highly powerful. And this is why developing your intuitive powers, of course, if you want to be of service, it is important, but just do it for yourself. Knowing that whatever decision you make, you do it for yourself. Whatever choices you have in front of you, the one you choose is really aligned with what your heart is beating for, regardless of what feels logical, regardless of what feels the norm. You simply follow what feels right within you, and it might fluctuate from one day to another. So yes, developing your intuitive powers to really align with your soul purpose as a light worker is something important, but let's start with the simplicity of just trusting your intuition. What is coming up for 2025? That was another question that was sent to me. So I do channel the light events and the non-light events. It's not really in my mission to really forecast what could go wrong. And I don't really ask for this, and they don't really tell me, but they give me an overview. They give me a summary, an energetic summary of the energetic flow. So I can only repeat and summarize what was said to my group within the multidimensional lightworker community, and we do that each month. We really take the pulse of the energies of the moment. But for 2025, and that was told to me and other channelers, that 2025 would be the year where lightworkers will be solicited, will be sought after for guidance, for healing, for support, for counseling, to clarify the vision, to understand energetically what is not always visible for humans. So channeling. So, and it is obviously happening. So it's not starting on January 1st, but we started to feel this in December. So yes, I mean, you have read a little bit what I shared on my different social media platforms and accounts. There will just be opposites. There will just be magical things happening. People collaborating. People standing up and finally saying this is enough. For a group, for a country, for families. But there will also be decline in societal trust. It's the end of an era, and 2025 will be a little bit more accelerated than 2024 in this dismantling. So do I need to get into the details? I don't think so. I think you observe it. There will be a lot of human activity that will trigger Gaia as well. And Gaia will react as much as she can, and to stabilize her frequency, her energy field. So it's tough for her too, because humans are not always acting in a way that is sustainable and is balanced. So Gaia is triggering rebalancing because humans are also playing with Gaia's core and climate to control whatever they want to control and whoever they want to control. So Gaia will react to the human manipulation to restabilize her energy field. We are helped by different galactic collectives. For some, they will be visible. I do believe that some people will see them, but they are way more patient and more understanding than humans. So they'll just slowly appear to us. Right now, galactic presence is simply to monitor and balance any kind of energy that could trigger a global reaction, a global impact. So it's like, it's almost as if, because the galactic beings are not here to interfere, but if ever they're seeing groups of humans really going way too far into manipulating energy in whatever way, through communication, through military, social and economic activities, well, they will do their best to balance this. But in the end, the power is in the people's hands. And this is what we'll see a lot in 2025. A lot of groups of people. There will be many leaders of smaller groups. Eventually, some groups will merge together, but at first it will feel like it's out of order. It's out of order, I'm sorry. It's disorganized. And eventually, there will be some coalition, there will be some regrouping. But our galactic friends are here to make sure that we don't go too far in whatever energy and manipulation we're doing right now. But we also need to see chaos, and it's sad, but it's the way it is. We are also invited to see chaos so we can see the flaws in all the systems that were established around the world, so we can say this is enough. We don't want that anymore. We saw the layers underneath the reality, and we see how you are leading the world, leading your community, leading your family. We don't want that anymore. So we need to see the darkness of everything that has been built, so we raise and stand up and realize, oh, now that we see how we have been manipulated, it's over. So a lot of different rebellions and protests and stuff like that is going to be massive. So I received that around mid-March, March being the peak of what they mentioned being a fire energy. So January, February, March, potentially up to April, but they're showing already like mid-March there will be a decrease in energy of that fire energy. So the fire energy is just the excitement. So for those who are holding a wonderful and powerful energy, then you will be in a very powerful zone of creation, period of creation. You will feel like you have so many ideas, so many intuitive abilities rising, and it's going faster and faster, and there's more and more. We're just barely touching the beginning of this phase of return back to who we are, what I call simply returning back to our multidimensional self. So those who are working with a light that is not shining as brightly, well, these people will feel highly triggered. The egos will be very sensitive. So we won't have leaders anymore. We will have just bruised egos. And they will represent, as we will observe them doing whatever they're going to do, which will feel completely like absurd. And it's as if we were witnessing kids in a playground. Like, you stole my toy, you're using my toy this way, this is my sandbox, don't get. It's that infantile, that juvenile. So, and them also will be highly triggered by the fire energy of the beginning of the year. So for you, if you're vibrating with energies of creation and you want to work with the light, that will be a period of strong creativity and also awakening of new visions. For many, there will be, you will feel a need to really jump into alignment with your mission as a light worker. So for those of you who are not sure what your mission is, you will almost put that as a priority. What am I here to do? Because the system is obviously not going to support me. I don't understand what's happening in the background. How do I feel that my presence, my life has a meaning? How can I do my best to shift what is happening? Even if it's locally, in your family, in your town, there will be a strong desire to understand why we're here. So again, those who are emerging might just want to connect with those who understand what it means to be a multidimensional being. So they might ask about 5D, 3D, all the, the parallel dimensions and past lives, the early beginnings of, a spiritual awakening, but it will go just like very quickly. So much interest, because they'll realize that searching for answer outside of them, media, social media, mainstream media, governments, or it's not the answer. Either they're not giving you the right answers, or they're giving you an erroneous, outdated, or kind of masked, answer. So people will look up to those who channel higher energies. So again, a lot of awakening, a lot of in masses, a lot of a desire to understand the soul purpose, the soul mission. And galactically speaking, as you may know, we are surrounded by galactic presence, a galactic presence. Some people call it the Galactic Federation. And for me, it's more, they talk to me using Galactic Council, Light Council. Those who I'm connected with are not too, worried about the terms we're all using. It's the same energy. It's fine, to use different terms to talk about the same thing. But we have, let's say, different galactic collectives that are stationed around our planet, and they were further away a few years ago, and they're slowly getting closer. And now there has been a fleet that somehow was invited to go a little bit closer. So, which would explain some, and some sky activity. Again, massively, we're not ready to see them. I think they want to balance the energies before showing up, but they'll show up when they realize that could create a shock in the system. They're saying right now that there was a time they were waiting for us to be spiritually awakened enough to see them, so we don't think of them as enemies, but as really friends who are coming to interact with us. They're saying right now, in this reality, in this timeline, it's not possible. And still, they'll show up if ever they think we're going too far. And they don't want us to return to these times of Atlantis where there was no return, no point, there was no way to return and ease the energies around the planet. So they're just here, and they're sending impulses of highly elevated frequencies. And sometimes that might feel also depleting physically. That's why sometimes we're tired, or we're feeling not always focused on our journey. Because right now, the life journey is kind of dense for everyone. Even if you don't think about what is happening all the time, it's a little bit heavier. So if they show up, they'll show up because they think that suddenly appearing in the sky or showing up in our reality will break up with the constant need to conquer. Again, it's all about awareness. It's all about being aware that we might be going too far. And all the energies, all the human energy right now is focused on fear. I don't say you are scared, but if we look globally, so maybe individually you're feeling okay, but globally, if we just add all the energies, the predominant energy that is actually being expressed by humans is an energy of fear, of doubt, and uncertainty. So there's no guru, there's no one and unique Messiah. Remember that it's a massive awakening of inner gurus, inner Messiah, Christ energy, Mary's energy. All the divine energies are within and are going to be activated. And if you don't do this on your own, you will again witness or be part of an event that will completely shift your vision, your perspective on life. And this is what our galactic friends are waiting for. Do we wait for them to stabilize their international activities, relations or relationships between one nation to another? Or do we slowly send them signs that we are here? They're not alone. It's time to work on themselves. We will support this energy of rebirthing to a new system. So they'll be there. They're already there. But their frequency is a little bit more present. So yes, we feel it in the body. So that's why all the work we have done, DNA reactivation, reinforcement, updates, how many times have we done that in the past years? There's always an energy update. There's always more recalibration, more DNA upgrade, more cellular clearing. It's to be able to also receive their frequency and feel that we're ready to unlock more divine powers within us. And again, it starts with telepathy. It starts. It's also, all the clairvoyance. These are actually the basic intuitive abilities or psychic abilities. It's super powerful when you're starting to develop them. It's like suddenly you have opened the doors to Eden. It's amazing to be connected to other realities this way. But once you have reached this level, then there's something beyond clairvoyance. There's the connection to all that is. There's the connection to the divine essence. And then you know everything whenever you need to know it. There's a sense of peace. There's a sense of harmony. There's a sense of unity. Your brothers are your brothers. Your sisters are your sisters. There's no difference. There's just another me in you. And I'm just another version of you. That's above in a dimensional expression. This is above developing your psychic abilities. You start with this, and then you start to see how wide consciousness is. So I went a little bit further than I expected in my explanations. I hope this helps. Feel free to ask questions. Every time I will receive something, I will share it. I'm on a holiday, so I might not be as present as usual, but I don't need to channel. I don't need to close my eyes right now to feel things. I have been feeling events before they happened. over a year ago. I mean, I did before, but to have that type of precision that I have right now is quite surprising for me. Of course, it impacts positively my work with my clients. I see more. I see more for them, and just through a conversation, I don't need to channel anymore. So that's a good thing for me and for them. But on a collective level, I can see who's going to lead, who's going to win, who's going, and I'm like, yeah, thank you for showing this to me. But again, it's not the kind of energy I want to share. But it's part of my upgrade. It's part of what I'm meant to receive. And even though I don't think it's my main mission, the fact that I have been upgraded to receive more collective messages, even the darker ones, are definitely an invitation to share them with you. Why? I do channel in different ways. I have the channeling eyes closed, and then it's deeper. And I have the channelings that are, or the messages, the guidance that is coming in my everyday life, while I'm just doing my chores, and suddenly I have a feeling or I hear something, then my body starts to react, and like, okay, let's stop. I'm receiving something. And there's automatic writing. And when I do automatic writing, it's another type of language. It's a language I could not even speak. Most of the time it's in French. It's sometimes in English, but it's poetic, but it's coded, highly coded. When I speak, eyes closed or eyes open, the vocabulary I'm using is very easy to understand. But when I am doing automatic writing and I'm just asking questions, I have a feeling I'm just, when I read that after, because at the moment I'm saying, oh my God, it doesn't make sense. I continue to write, and then when it's over, I read, and I'm like, oh my God, there's so much information, but you need to decipher it. So maybe I'll share some. I kind of hesitate because it's such a different energy, and I haven't asked my higher self why it's different, but I seem to connect to another type of guides when I do it this way. And these guides it feels like, the best analogy would be like what Nostradamus used to channel. I don't know how you pronounce it. Where's the emphasis in English? Nostradamus or Nostradamus? I don't know anymore. Michel de Notre Dame. I'll say it in French. Yeah, how coded is predictions were. So I'm not saying that I'm writing things this way, but when I channel, there are words I rarely use. There's some words I've never heard of. References to historical times that I had no clue. So it's forcing me really to just get a dictionary or use my phone to understand, okay, you're making a symbolic connection between our events and past events. So I'll see. I have one I have received for Lightworkers, like 2025 for Lightworkers. Let me know if you're interested. It's a different type. It's another energy, but it feels grounded. It feels solid, because my energy is usually a very galactic energy. So I work with higher frequencies of Gaia's and galactic energies and light beings. I'm less focused, and this is how it's being wired for me. It's not even a choice, but I'm not as connected to the everyday aspect of the awakening. When I connect, it's big information, global information. It's activating. It's meant to move us forward, so we don't just stay still and wait for the next episode of this epic story of human awakening. So I'll see. I'll probably share that. So I will wish you a wonderful holiday season. Again, I'm off, but feel free to share how you resonate with what was shared today. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I will return in January with more activities. I'm planning a few things that some people in my group already know. I just need that break to see how I want to present it. Less one-on-one work, more group activations, because people will need that kind of container, that kind of support. And it's hard for us light workers to work one person at a time without, overloading ourselves energetically. Because, a group activation can reach 20, 100 people. To reach that kind of impact when working one-on-one would require way more time and energy. So you might feel it too. You might feel that suddenly you're drawn to work in a group setting. It feels more aligned. And again, the energies are moving light workers that way. So don't resist it. If you feel the call to really start group activities and less one-on-one, is probably where your impact will be the most impactful. Impactful. All right, beautiful ones. I'm sending you lots of love. Enjoy this holiday season, and we'll see you very, very soon. Bye for now.